Okay, welcome to this squad workout, session number 3. Okay, got a really great session lined up for you. Okay, so what we're gonna get doing, I'll walk you through the plan. Well, let's just get moving. Just start off with a little bit of walk. Okay, a little bit of easy walking, and then we'll work. I'll just quickly talk you through the session. We've got the normal sort of 10-minute easy build, so we'll build up to kind of like a 4 out of 10 effort, your sort of normal zone 2 pace. We'll then stop after 10 minutes, just do some quick little looseners. Okay, and then we'll get back running, sort of a similar pace for about 3 minutes, and then we'll get into our main sets. And our sets in this session are very straightforward. It's a very simple session. We've got 3 by 6 minutes at 5k pace. Okay, 5k pace being sort of like an 8 out of 10 effort, or if you have experience of running kind of 5ks in like a sort of relatively competitive sense, you should know roughly what your 5k pace is. If not, don't worry about it. We'll have quite generous 3 minutes of walking recovery in between, and that'll be our session. So it should be around 45 minutes long. Okay, and one of the things that we're kind of just going to discuss a little bit is run pacing, rate of perceived exertion versus pace ranges versus heart ranges. Okay, and how those 3 sort of metrics interplay with one another. Okay, so let's just lift up the pace a little bit and get ourselves into a little bit of a jog. Let's build really steadily. It's very cold at the moment, so when it's as cold as it is, even though you're running indoors, if you're in a scenario like I am, where it's very cold still, you really have to take it. Be gentle with yourself. When it is cold, it takes longer for your body to warm up, particularly if you're, how do I put it, an older athlete. It takes a little bit of time for your synovial fluid to get to your joints, which is like a lubricant for your joints, and it just takes a little while for you to get going. So you do need to be a bit kind to yourself. So we're probably working out like a 2 out of 10 at the moment. Should be pretty chilled. Should be able to kind of talk back to me if you had any inclination to do so. Probably not. Yeah, these sessions get a bit breathy. Hopefully you can forgive me for that. I can promise you, if you think it's hard doing a session, try doing it whilst talking, particularly at 5k pace. As you'll see, it will get somewhat breathy. Yeah, just relax. 2 out of 10. Just gonna steadily build the effort a little bit. So if we just increase the pace a little bit. So if you're on a treadmill and you got the whole smart treadmill set up like I've got, or even not, you're just on a normal treadmill, go up in little increments every minute or so. Just increase by 0.5 of a k an hour, or I don't know what that is in miles an hour. I'm a metric system kind of guy. Yeah, just building. So we've got another 6 minutes of warm up. So the goal is by the end of the 10 minutes, you're nice and warm. But as you know, in sessions, to make them kind of fully accessible to people, we set them in rate of perceived exertion. So 10 being a full-on sprint. Right now we're 2 or 3 out of 10. We're just going to increase more to a 3 out of 10. Okay. But really what our goal is with these sessions is for you to be able to use rate of perceived exertion, your pace ranges, and your heart rate zones or heart rate numbers interchangeably. Because that's what you've got to do in a race. It doesn't matter what the race is. But running in particular, they are, attempting to bring in running power. it's got real limitations and accuracy issues. So yeah, it may never come in, but as things stand with running, it's not like cycling. You don't have much in the way of real-time objective metrics. Heart rate, of course, is an objective metric, but there is quite a lag in your heart rate. But mine at the moment, or you get a lot of it, there's a lot of variability with heart rate. Okay, so what's mine at the moment? About 110. Yeah, it's actually a little bit higher than I would expect at this pace. Just going to introduce a little bit more effort. Still roughly a 3, between 3 and a 4 out of 10. So yeah, unfortunately, you don't have power meters for running that are as reliable and effective. So really, you have to gain experience of using these metrics interchangeably, because pace ranges are great, and most of our kind of tempo run sessions for our athletes, we do give them pace range to run with, but sometimes it's just not helpful. Running, because of the load-bearing nature of it and gravity, it can be really tough to hit a consistent pace, and then take into account if you're running outside, topography of the terrain. Running it off-road is so much slower than running on-road, about a minute per kilometre slow, I would suggest. On a good day, if it's relatively dry. If it's muddy, who knows? So yeah, I just think running, the scenery of the sport is much more varied than cycling. So yeah, some days you're just not going to be able to get near your pace ranges. You might feel okay, but just the legs aren't working as much as you like. Maybe you're carrying a bit of fatigue, and so it can be really unhelpful, to try and force an athlete to run at a specific pace. And actually, in some scenarios, they're much better falling back onto rate of perceived exertion and couple that with heart rate. And so one of the objectives of these sessions is to get you really comfortable using those different metrics interchangeably and knowing kind of what your heart rate should roughly be at different efforts. So I'm going to, through these sessions, I'll constantly be saying, have a look at your heart rate, where is it? And it's not meant to be a trick or anything. It's just so that you can say, oh, okay, 5k pace, my heart rate's usually around 160 or whatever it is. And so when it comes to a triathlon, for instance, you're maybe not having a good day, and there's just no chance of you hitting your target pace. And so in those instances, fall back on how you're feeling. If you're just feeling dreadful, fall back on what your heart rate is saying. Is your heart rate through the roof? Well, you're not going to be able to sustain 190 beats or a 10k run or something. So you just have to, the reality of your situation is, you might have to pull it back. Okay, let's just lift the pace for the last minute and a half. Let's get into what you would probably consider your kind of relaxed zone 2 pace. So 4 out of 10. If you had to, you should be able to talk relatively comfortably. Another thing with the cold. So I'm asthmatic, and I just find the cold really makes my chest tight. So that's another reason why I'm a bit breathy today. Also, I'm not a great runner. Call a spade a spade. Had to work very hard to get to the level that I'm at, which is not that high. My talents lie elsewhere. Yeah, just try and nice and relax. Just draw the shoulders down, your chin up, last 85 seconds, and then we'll just take a pause. Keep going, last 20, nice and relaxed. Okay, 10. Okay, last couple of seconds. I'm just going to jump off so I can pause this. Okay, just going to pause the workout, and then we're going to move over onto the mat. So you just need a little bit of space. You don't need tons. Okay, don't stress too much. Okay, right. Okay, so hopefully you can see me okay. So we're going to start off with, it's just some rocking calf raises. Okay, so you're going to lift up on your heels, use momentum to push forward on your toes. So what I really want you to think about is kind of pushing up and through your big toe. Okay, so just going to 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just to get the fascia underneath your foot going a little bit. Big toe activation, get the calves going. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I'm just going to do the same thing but with our knees bent. So this is get the soleus going, which is the sort of deeper lying muscle. So you look like you're doing, you know, Michael Jackson's Thriller. Yeah, I'm not a funny guy, I shouldn't do this sort of stuff. Right, so that's 7 I think again. 8, 9, 10. Okay, just shake the legs out a little bit. Okay, next up we're just going to do some opening of the gates. So this is my kind of favourite sort of dynamic. So you're just going to lift the leg up, draw the knee out to the side, then you're going to bring it back in like that. So you just get the muscles around your hips going basically. So up and out, pop the foot down, up and back in. Then go on to the other side, up and out, and back in. So we should do 10 of those in total. So that's 2, wait, no, that way, and then back in. So that's 3, out, and then back in for 4, out, back in for 5, out, back in for 6, a few more, out, back in 7, out, back in for 8, number 9, number 10. Okay, good stuff. And then we're going to do some leg swings, good old leg swings. So kick around you, make sure you've got space, you're not going to kick anything. So just kicking forwards, make sure you kick backwards on these ones just to open up the hip flexor as well. Just 10 of these on each side. 10, swap sides. And 9 and 10, and then across the body. I'm going to do it facing you, but it's probably best to do it facing a wall. Give yourself a little bit of a leaning pose. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. On the side, really kicking out to the side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then arm swings going forwards. Try and keep your chin up, and then going backwards. So I've just got to move forwards a bit. And then across the chest. Fortunately, the camera, I can't get it far enough away. So apologies if sort of my forehead disappears off screen or something, or you can't see my feet. That's the best that I've got. Okay, then we're just going to do some high knees and butt kicks just to lift the heart rate up again. So just in like maybe 20. And then butt kicks, really kind of kicking, you should feel like stretching a little bit on the front of your quads. Okay, hopefully you feel a little bit looser. So we're going to move back onto the treadmill, getting ready to run again basically. Have a little sip of fluids if you've got them. Ideally have fluids when you do these sessions. Okay, so we've got 3 minutes now. Sort of running at an easy pace. So let's get the workout started again. And just building up slowly again, up to your kind of zone 2 pace. All right, building up to a 4 out of 10. You don't need to kind of kick, sprint straight away into it, just build into it. Everything about these sessions, run sessions and one workouts, I really encourage you to kind of build into efforts, rather than like what you might do on a turbo trainer, where you suddenly just kind of kick and lift your power straight away. With running, when you do that, what it means is that kick, that explosive, that real acceleration, you're really leaning on your anaerobic systems to do that. So with running, and the same goes for in the race, to be honest, unless you are kind of, actually, one-on-one racing someone, and you need to kick and sort of put them to the sword. When it comes to, to running, your change of the pace should be gradual, so that you're not putting your heart rate through the roof. Because anytime you really lift your heart rate quickly, you'll pay for it. Okay? So top tip. So right now, your pace range should be very solidly in that zone 2 area. In this 3 minutes, and this is what I was saying about lag time on heart rate, your heart rate probably won't get up to a zone 2 level, or it might do, so actually mine's a little bit high. But yeah, in the sort of zone 2, but just keep an eye on your heart rate. Keep checking on it throughout the session, okay? It's a really good one for gauging, because you've got the 3 6-minute efforts that are coming up, and they're steady state. So you've got time for your heart rate to get up to where it should be, but you can just kind of drink it in a little bit, make a mental note of what your 5k heart rate should look like. Okay, so we've got about 35 seconds, and then we're going to lift it. Remember what I said, lift it gradually. So in the course of maybe like the first minute, building from zone 2 through zone 3 to zone 4. So that 5k effort should feel like an 8 out of 10. Okay? Right, so get ready. Chin up, shoulders down, just sort of relax a little bit. Get ready to lift the effort. Four, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. Lifting the effort then. Just a little bit at a time. So up to 6 out of 10 to begin with. Then we start to lift again. Maybe like a 7. Okay. Then up to an 8 out of 10. Probably to that a bit quicker, if I'm honest. Probably could take more time over it. So now you'll be working roughly at your 5k pace. If you can't hold this effort for 6 minutes, you're going too fast. If you can't hold this effort for sort of circa 20-30 minutes, you're going too hard. And just roll it back. Okay? A big part of these sessions is about learning. So leave the ego at the door. Let's do this properly. No one else cares what you're up to right now. They're focusing on themselves. Sorry, I've got a microphone cable drifting down my shoulder. Really irritating. Okay, we're over a minute and a half down already. Break it up into 2-minute segments. So we get feel a little manageable. Too far ahead. That's the first 2 minutes down. Focus on the next 2. Up, guys. You know. You should still be feeling strong. You shouldn't be starting to fade. Okay. 4 out of 10. Sorry, 8 out of 10. Okay, so your heart rate probably is getting into the right zone. Mine looks low. I think maybe there's something I'm going on with my heart rate. Monitor today. It's too high, and now it's too low. So really I expect my heart rate to probably be in the 170s right now. My running fitness is okay at the moment, but it's not this good. Annoyingly, on Swift, I feel like the heart rate number is too small. It's too close to the payments. Because that's 170. That looks like my heart rate first, but it's not. The number above it is my heart rate. I'm at 138. It's way too low. Okay, coming up to the final 2-minute segment. You're not far off now, guys. Minute and 20 to go. Alright, last 60 seconds. You should be remaining strong. If you're starting to really struggle, ease back. You've gone too hard. You should be feeling nice and strong all the way through this first interval, sorry. 40 seconds. Twenty. Okay, 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay, down to walking effort. Okay. Okay, nice and relaxed. A little sip of fluids if you got them. Try not to drink too much because unfortunately the up and down the fluids might come back up. But okay, so that's your first attempt. Just trying to think yourself, how well did I execute that? Okay, meant to have been an 8 out of 10 effort. Could I sustain what I just did for 20 odd minutes, depending on how fast you are? Okay, if the answer is no, okay, and even if maybe you are trying to be sensible and you're on a treadmill or whatever and the pace is kind of saying what you should be at, ignore it. If you just didn't if that didn't feel right to you, that didn't feel like an 8 out of 10, that didn't feel like a 5k pace, then ignore the pace ranges, okay? So one of the things I find with Zwift, this workout I've done a couple of times in the last like month or so, and the numbers it's putting up on the screen are lower than the last time I did it. So there's some sort of issue with Zwift in terms of reading files from Training Peaks. I'm not sure I have the emotional energy to figure out why, because it doesn't really matter, because these sessions, we want them to be predominantly rate perceived exertion, to try and get you guys really familiar with what the efforts feel like. But yeah, to be really honest with yourself, I don't think anyone else will be able to see your numbers, or if they can, I can't imagine they would care too much. Alright, this is all about you, and you should be only focused on yourself when it comes to your run training. Alright, not always easy though. Oh, what kind of hat is that she's got on? Hopefully, I don't know how fast she's going, but hopefully, ironic, I'm just literally just saying focus on yourself, and then I'm looking at an avatar on the screen who's got a funny hat on, and then I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'll catch up with her maybe, and I'll be able to see what kind of hat it is, but completely contradicting what I was just saying to you guys. Anyway, so 15 seconds until we get going again. Remember to build into it steadily over the course of the first minute. It should be an 8 out of 10 effort. It should be an effort that you have no sort of worries about sustaining. Okay, ready to go? 2, 1. Okay, round 2. Remember, this is round 2 of 3. Okay, so it's the penultimate round already. So building steadily, getting into a bit of a jog, running, working through 4 out of 10. Then lifting to a 5. Into a 6. Sort of going up in 0.5 kph segments, factors. Let's see what hat she's got. What's that hat? Anyway. Okay, up to a 7. And then back up to an 8 out of 10 effort. Okay, up to 5k pace. Chin up, shoulders down, relax the hands. Try and settle into it. First minute's down already. Okay, you're not far off. Already being through the first 2 minute section. Okay, really well done. That's 2 minutes down. On to the next 2 minute segment. Let's lift for the next 2 minutes. Try and stay relaxed in the upper body. Take out the hands, shoulders down, chin up. Okay, we're halfway through the interval, guys. You did a great job. 8 out of 10. You're feeling strong still. Not massively suffering. So where's your heart rate at? Take a snapshot of it. Should be in that zone 4 area. How's it feeling? Is this an 8 out of 10? Is this an effort you can definitely sustain for a full 5k? If you're outside, what's your pace looking at? If you're on a treadmill, have a look at your pace, but don't be too worried about it. Okay, last 2 minutes coming up. Here we go, reset the clock, 2 minutes, come on. You can do this.
I got that flow, I got that swag, I got that that your mama wish she had. I take it slow, but somehow you still last. So if you want that glow, you better relax.
Okay, final 90, and final reminder, try and relax. Shoulders down, chin up.
I got that flow, I got that swag, I got that your mama wish she had.
Okay, approaching the last minute, you need there.
But somehow
You be strong, not suffering.
that glow,
Do you feel hard? Not apocalyptic. That's a hard word to say at this effort. "45. "30. 20. Last little nudge. 10. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Okay. Relax. Get your breath back. Should be quick. Should be pretty quick to do that if you've done the right thing. And then let's get walking. Just steady bring that heart rate down. What you don't really want to do, in my opinion, when it comes to running, is just stop and stand still completely. Some of the sessions we do actually do that for a specific reason, but generally speaking, you don't. And that's because you want to let your heart rate come down steadily and just help flush out some of the lactate that you would have accumulated. Okay, so try and make yourself just really leisurely. Just keep some warmth in your muscles, particularly when it's this cold. You can get cold very quickly. Particularly if you sweated a lot doing a hard interval, you really want to stay moving. Otherwise, yeah, it can be. You can get cold very quickly, and once that cold gets into you in the winter, you know, that sort of when it gets into your bones and it takes you the rest of the day to warm up again. I've had that a lot recently. Cycled into town yesterday, and as soon as I stepped out the door, it started chucking it down. Ice cold wind. Had a meeting in town, I was frozen. Then got back, frozen again. And yeah, just spent the whole day cold. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so we've got one more round to go. So hopefully you're starting to get it now in terms of the rate perceived exertion, pace range and heart rate, looking at them interchangeably. It might not be natural for you right now. I'm going to, as we go through these sessions, try and keep giving you prompts to kind of look at your heart rate and things like that. Our goal isn't for you to, can't even click, my hands are too cold. Our goal isn't for you to overnight be able to kind of switch between the metrics interchangeably. It is a long-term process, but it's something we really want you to do it's very easy, I think, when you have a coach and you have your training plan nicely set out for you, pace ranges, etc. To go through it as a bit of a robot. But the people that progress the quickest are the ones that are curious, want to know what all the metrics mean, etc. It's actually, most of this stuff is super simple. I think when you look at training peaks and the bar charts, all the different metrics, etc., VAM, blah blah blah, it's very easy to get a little bit intimidated. But I promise you, whilst there's a million different pieces of jargon, it's all very simple. Okay, us sort of coaching types and sports scientists, etc., as we go back up to steadily up to an 8 out of 10, so building into it, us sort of sports science coach types, we love to make things sound more complicated than they actually are, just to kind of make ourselves feel more intelligent and sometimes justify our role. But yeah, you shouldn't be put off. A lot of time these concepts are actually very simple, and we'll talk through quite a few of them as we go through these sessions. So let's build it up now, steadily through the zones. So sort of 7 out of 10 right now, lifting back up to pace, so that's an 8 out of 10. Last interval, guys, this is it, last push. You might start to feel that in your legs a little bit, but you should still have confidence that you're fine for the interval. Okay? Great job, guys. And your first reminder to relax. Hold us down, chin up, shake out the hands. Driving those knees. Already not far off, 2 minutes down. Here we are, 2 minutes down. Right, quick check-in of the heart rate. Where is it? Your pace, 5k pace. RPE, 8 out of 10. Nice and relaxed. We should be probably feeling a fair bit fatigued by the end of this interval, but because of the recovery, each of those 66 minutes, they should feel hard but manageable. Okay, so just keep an eye on that effort level. Coming up to halfway. Okay, there we go, halfway. You're doing great, guys. Right, relax as best you can. Remember to keep that chin up. Keep breathing. Don't compress the airways. Okay, coming up to the final 2 minutes. Keep the pace steady. Don't lift it. Keep your heart rate roughly where it is. 9 seconds, your last reminder to relax. Let's finish strong.
Take it because you want it. Don't need permission because you already own it. Don't need to fake it because you want it. Don't need permission because you already own it. Bring me back, bring me back. Bring me back, bring me back. Bring me back, bring me back.
Last minute then, come on, you're doing a fantastic job. Let's finish it off. Keep working. Keep driving those knees. Wait, 5. $30. Last 30 seconds of hard work. Keep it steady. Let's just finish it off. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo. Well done, guys. Really great work. So that there is 18 minutes of 5k running. That's a really strong session, that. Okay, hope that boosts your confidence. Hope that gives you knowledge of what you could do in your next 5k run, or next 5k assessment or race. Okay, really well done, guys. Now I'm just going to take a few minutes, just this recovery interval, to just bring the heart rate down again. Just remember, okay, make sure you stretch after the session. Done a lot of muscle damage to a nice high protein meal, and if you're training again today, or if it's you're training in the evening, you're training first thing in the morning, make sure you get on plenty of carbs. Restock those glycogen supplies. But yeah, just make sure you do kind of all the boring stuff properly. There's these types of sessions really that are, you know, relatively high risk. The speed work on the track is probably the most high risk form of running. For these sort of sessions, very easy as you kind of get fatigued, start running weird, and that is one of the reasons why we want to be strict with ourselves in terms of our pacing and not get carried away and your 5k interval turns into the sort of thing you would do, you know, over 1500 meters or whatever. That's what we don't want, because as you start to really fatigue, your form fails, and that's when you start to pick up really silly little injuries. Okay, so you want to be able to make that link in your mind between, you know, pacing things badly and the silly injuries. Okay, here is a clear link there. So to say your form fades, you start running weird. If anyone's done an Ironman, you know exactly what that feels like in the most intense way. To get towards the end of the iron distance run, you know, you sort of start to collapse in on yourself, and you start getting pain in places you didn't realise it was possible to get pain. Shouldn't be doing that in 5k efforts, basically. Yeah, good stuff, guys. Just walking that out for another 30 seconds, and then I'll leave you alone. But well done, guys. That's session 3, done and dusted. More fun where that came from. Okay. Well done. Last 10 seconds. Hopefully your heart rate is now kind of getting below the 100 beats per minute mark. That's usually a good sign that you're getting nice and recovered. There you go, guys. Really well done, and I'll see you in the next session. Good job.